Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. So, I guess this is another one of those random rants, I suppose. Now, I spoke a little bit about this situation earlier in the Weekly United, but today on Twitter, you see headlines circling around Mason Greenwood from the usual suspects, aka the scumbags at the Sun, and various other places as well, obviously amplifying those stories of Mason Greenwood being on camera, doing balloons and whatever. Now, obviously, balloons for a footballer, shouldn't be doing it anyway. We've seen other players in the past being caught around doing those stupid things. But, you know, Mason Greenwood, I think he was 16, 17 when he done that. And the Sun are obviously rehashing this old video, reusing it and resurfacing it in order to pile on the pressure and pile on the misery for Mason Greenwood following his being sent home from the England team when they were out in Iceland. So obviously the Sun up to their usual tricks, and I think it goes without saying that, you know, fuck the Sun. Nobody likes them anyway, although there is a large percentage of, you know, there's a lot of people that read the newspaper and that, but we know there's also a big community that can't stand them. And as usual, what we'll see in the British press is they'll build people up to knock them down, except in this instance with Mason Greenwood, it's happened in fast forward. Now, obviously, I'm going to start off by saying Mason Greenwood, on his first trip to England, international duty, getting caught up in what he got caught up in, it's daft, it's stupid, he shouldn't be doing it, and he was rightly punished for that, being sent home from international duty. And I'm sure Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, would have been having firm words with him as well. Obviously, in this kind of environment with the COVID situation, it wasn't a clever thing to do. And even without that there, it wasn't a clever thing to do. But him and Phil Foden did it. They were sent home. They were punished. And look, you can't excuse that. They were rightly punished, and they need to learn from their mistakes. Even with this balloon incident, you can't, you know, excuse Mason Greenwood, and he's come out and apologised. But it's the audacity of it. Like, this is an old video, and you're repurposing it in the last couple of weeks. If you look at Mason Greenwood in that video, he's skinnier than he is now. It's clearly not a recent video. And just looking at it, like, first off, with Southgate, yeah, he's partly responsible for all of this. Not only is it, forget the fact that he's a poor football manager and he shouldn't be England manager anyway, but his handling of this situation has been totally wrong. He hung the players out to dry. Send them home, alright, fair enough. You had to do that anyway because of the COVID regulations. You had to punish them, alright, fair enough. But also, you have to look at what is going on with your management. I know for a fact that's not happening at a Manchester United team hotel on a pre-season tour. The security is on top. So what is going on with the England team? We also saw earlier in the week that United had protected Mason Greenwood from the press for so long, and then you put him in front of the press and he's asked a question about Harry Maguire. Like, what are you doing? Like, United have held him back from the press for a while, and you're there in his first week as, like, you're there to answer stupid questions about Harry Maguire from the scumbag journalists that are asking those questions. And he sold Mason Greenwood down the river all week. Anybody could have preempted that. If we put a Manchester United player out there, they're probably going to get asked about Harry Maguire. It's an awkward situation for them to be in. So what do? Send a debutant Manchester United player who's 18 years old. Like, it was a daft thing to do from Southgate. And then, alright, you punish them, send him home, fair enough. But then after the game, when your team performs poorly, to blame that performance on those players, you're again vilifying them. You're then making it us against them. You're then, the way he's been talking about Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood after that, he's almost like he's been looking for excuses. And it's spineless management from Southgate. Any other manager comes out, look at Solskjaer with Harry Maguire, have firm words behind closed doors in front of the press. You know, you don't lay into your players in front of the press like that. Southgate did it because he's spineless and he's looking for excuses. Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood never picked your squad. Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood never said play 3 DMs. You've been doing that way before Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood were even in the team. So how can you blame them for the performance that we saw? It's spineless from Southgate. And it also gave the media, who don't need an excuse anyway, an excuse to go for them. It gave them that excuse. And now you see the Sun and the British press up to their usual tricks. They all got scared, like, when we stood up for Sterling. But now, you know, everything's been forgotten again. Like, they're back at it again. And when you compare the reaction of Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood, like, look at these headlines, for example. Two contrasting headlines. One of them paints the young white footballer in a positive light. The other one paints the young black footballer in a negative light. We've been here and seen this all before. And even if you take away the racial element to it, which you shouldn't, but even if you take that away from it, what are they doing? This is a young England international who's made a mistake, and you're piling on the pressure. Like I said before, if I was United, I'd say fuck England. Like, keep Mason Greenwood in the United team. Don't let him go to those England squads, because they're clearly not protecting him. They're clearly not protecting him. Now, what I would say is, I know it's difficult not to react to these newspapers when they're posting this bullshit and all that, but try not to. Block them, mute them. Don't get involved, don't engage, because that's what they want. The sales of the Sun are down. Sales of the Sun are down. They know what they're doing. They know how this looks. These are the same kind of people that employ Katie Hopkins and them. They know what they're doing. They know that they can push these agendas and push this constant racist rhetoric if need be. And even if you take the racial element out of it, just even building people up to knock them down and pile the pressure on, they can do it. And look, the sales show, no one's reading them. So how are they going to get your money? How are they going to get money out of you? Making you click their articles, even if it's through rage, even if it's through, like, you know, they monetize your emotions, they monetize your anger, they monetize just all of that frustration that you see when you see this inaccurate reporting and the unfairness in their reporting. They monetize it because you're sharing their articles, and their ads are creating revenue for them. So this is what they do. They know it. Now look, Mason's made his mistakes. He's been an idiot. He needs to learn from them. But he's a young lad, and we've seen players at United make mistakes at all sorts of ages. Again, compare Harry Maguire's treatment to that of Mason Greenwood. Completely different again. And Harry Maguire, who I believe we should support and stand behind and defend as well, for the same reasons. Like, you don't want to knock him down in public. You know, criticise him behind closed doors, and, you know, tell Harry Maguire whatever you need to behind closed doors, but in front of the press, stand behind him. But look at the comparison between Mason Greenwood and Maguire's treatment. It's been completely different. Completely different. And look what Maguire was accused of. You know what I mean? What has Mason Greenwood done? Hippie crack. I've never heard it called that in my life. I've never heard it called that in my life, man. I'm putting crack and Greenwood in the same. It's mad, but this is what they do. They want to make you mad. They want to make you mad. Now, Mason's apologised for his mistakes. He'll go back to the safety and that bubble of Manchester United, and he'll be well protected, I believe. And United are good at stuff like that, and Solskjaer will rally around him. And he'll know that he has to learn from his mistakes. He'll know that he's done wrong. But he'll know that we're not going to be looking to lay the boot into him. Southgate started it, but the press are just, we know what they're like as well, especially those like, and if you didn't know already, do not be buying that shit. Do not be buying that shit. So just like with Maguire, let's get round Mason and watch him, because the guy's a talent, you know what I mean, and he's made a silly mistake, but in actual reality, what has he done? This Bloom thing was years ago, and the thing on England international duty, it's not that bad, you know. It's, in the grand scheme of things, we've seen so much worse with a lot of players. Maguire recently, in the past, you know, Rooney, Keano, they've all done things, you know. Giggsy used to get caught out and about by Fergie, partying when he shouldn't be. Like, it happens. You got to learn from those mistakes, and they will. So yeah, there you go, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like and comment and share and subscribing to AdamMcKola TV. We're back tonight with United Daily Live. So I'll see you at 10:30 PM UK time, unless there's any breaking news before then. See you later.